Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's fourth and final video. So we're going to have a look at the weather for the next 10 to 14 days for today's fourth video. So day 10 will take us to around the 18th of May. We'll be able to extend out beyond that. We're going to say GFS and ECM ensembles, may run around a couple of weeks. And we'll have a look at the CFS-V2 at the end of the video. For the next 4 weeks, that will take us well into June, of course. I should get on with that for you very shortly. It's been a busy day at GavsWeatherVids today. So we started with our 7 AM upload, just looking at weather for the next 2 or 3 days. We also released the ECM WF 42-day forecast, 6-week look ahead with the extended ECM, and also the weekend forecast. So check out check out all of today's videos if you have not yet done so. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. Right, the subs are on the move. So we are currently, for the channel, sitting at 10,962 subscribers. We have got fewer than 40 subscribers to go to get to 11k. So the subs are moving quite quickly now. If you have not yet subbed to our channel, please can you give us a sub? Please can you subscribe? And don't forget to tell friends, family, everybody else to subscribe as well. Hopefully we'll be able to get ourselves to 11k subscribers before the end of the month. It would be nice if we could, wouldn't it? I didn't think we could, but we'd be able to do that. But given how the subs have moved over the last few days, perhaps we might be on course to get to 11,000 subscribers for the channel before the end of the month. Be interesting to see how quickly we do this, won't it? So thank you so much, everybody, for subscribing. And if you have not yet given us a sub, then please can you do so. And we're on our way, hopefully, to 11,000 subscribers. That's going to be exciting, isn't it? Right, so here we go then with the latest temperature observations from XC Weather. Now, we are introducing warmer air from the south at the moment, being thoroughly wet across most parts of the country so far today. This rain is introducing a warmer push of winds from the southwest. So look at this, latest temperature observations from XC Weather actually have a little bit of yellow appearing across southern parts of England, Wales and Ireland. We've got 19 degrees flashing away there in the channel that they have. Up into southern England, it's like mid-teens. So Forney Islands at 14 degrees, Benson at 14 degrees. We've got 16 degrees at Headcorn Aerodrome, just 11 at Langdon Bay, 13 at Stansted. And then into southwest Midlands, got Hereford at 15 degrees. Into Wales, Senny Bridge is at 12 degrees. So the temperatures are on the move. They are beginning to rise. If we get a bit of sunshine in the southeast, I reckon 17 degrees is achievable. We're starting. The problem's going to be today, we're going to have quite a lot of cloud. But tomorrow should be quite warm in the east. And potentially like 20 or 21 degrees is a possibility for the far southeastern corner. However, it's a very different world further north. So up into northern England, we've got Leeds at just Leeds and Bradford at just 17 degrees. We've got Leeming at just 17 degrees. Gets even colder about Sped Adam, just 3 degrees there. Pouring with rain as well. Eskdale Muir at just 4 degrees, 5 degrees at Drumalbin. Into Scotland, where the persistent rain has not yet arrived across central northern Scotland. 7 degrees at Aviemore and 8 degrees at Oughton. Still pretty cool for Belfast as well. 7 degrees, but down into the Irish Republic. We've got 16 degrees at Gerting, and we've actually got 17 degrees at Shannon. So again, these warm temperatures are going to be pushing northwards and eastwards through the rest of today and into tomorrow. Mind you, the central temperature is currently very, very chilly indeed. Cold, actually. We're currently standing at 7 degrees, 7.0. Which is nearly 3 degrees below the 61 to 1990 average. Absolutely extraordinary. That's provisional up to the 7th. That's probably about as bad as it's going to get. And I think you're going to start lifting up. It will start lifting up, when this updates tomorrow, taking into account today. And then it should increase further thereafter. Although we are not going to see like the warm temperatures that we're going to have tomorrow continuing into next week. It's not going to be cold next week either. It will be sort of average temperatures for the time of the year next week, and that will allow the central temperature to rise next week because it is so far below average, of course. Thought we'd just have a look at a little bit of CT data for May. So this is from the UK Met Office. This is showing every year's central temperature about 1659. It's the longest and oldest, oldest and longest, most reliable temperature record anywhere on Earth. But of course, the further back you go, the more unreliable it gets. So when you get back into the 1600s, just a snapshot of what the model would have been showing, or what the models would have been showing if they were functioning back then. What am I talking about? Right, so let's scroll down. I don't really know what I'm saying, to be honest. Gavs in one of those today. Don't know what I'm saying. Right, so here we go then. Come down to 2021. So this is where May's CET will be plugged into. We're getting to the beginning of June, just there. So we'll see what number we come up with. Of course, last year had a very warm May at 12.5. So that was a pretty warm one last year. We had summer in May, really, last year, didn't we? Year before that, 2019, was close to average at 11.1. That's not too far from average, really. We had several warm Mays then in 2016, 2017, 2018. Those three just there, 12.5, 13.2, 13.2. But last time we was in the 10s with the CT, which of course is colder than average. Last time we was in the 10s with the CT was in 2015 at 10.8. We have another 10 in 2010, cold year of course, 10.7. Now, the last time we was under 10 degrees for the CET in May was a long time ago. But I remember it, I'm old enough to remember this. In 1996, we had a very, very cold May in 1996 at 9.1. I think that was the coldest May probably since 1940 something. Let's go back and have a look. We go back through the decades of the 1940s. There it is. 9.4 in 1941. So it's actually a little bit colder than that, wasn't it? The coldest May of the 20th century, going even further back, happens to be a long time ago, very long time ago, over 100 years ago, 1902. At 8.9. That's the coldest May of the 20th century. I think that's the last time that May CT was under 9 degrees as well. So all of the other cold Mays of the 20th century are in the 9s. And the coldest and warmest Mays on record are both very, very, very long time ago. Now, I've got this jotted down, so I knew I'd forget it. So the warmest May on record for the century in temperature is this one just here, which is 1833, and it has a May CET of 15.1, which is absolutely extraordinary temperature, and it's remarkable that, like, even with all of the warming that we've had through the 20th century, and especially over the last sort of 30 years, that still stands out as you know, way above anything that we've had in terms of warm Mays over recent years. So generally, if May gets into the 13s, we think we're having a very warm month. I don't think we've ever had a May in the 14s over recent years. I think all of our warm Mays have been in the 13s. But actually, in 1833, it had a May CT of 15.1, which just goes to show how warm potentially May can be. That must have had a lot of southerly winds or something, mustn't it? It must have been a very freak sort of month with loads of Spanish plumes or something to be that warm. You know, that would be significantly warmer than average even for June. Now, the coldest May on record is even further back for the CET. The coldest May on record is actually in the 1600s. So let's go back to that. So it's going to be 1890. Let's see, where is it? Going to be 1898, I think. That year just there, 1698, I should say. That year just there, 1698, had a May CT of 8.5. That is the coldest May on CT record. Extremely cold month. Now, obviously, at the moment, we are 1.5 degrees under that at 7.0. So if we was to keep the temperature as it is right now through the rest of the month, we would have our coldest May on CT record. We would beat 1698. But, of course, we're going to see a warm-up. So I think 1698 is probably going to be safe. However, from how cold we have started off with this May, it's not inconceivable that we might get a May CT in the 9s, which would be the first time that's happened since 1996. So that would be quite noteworthy. But it does depend, of course, on it's still only 1 month in, so 1 week into the month. So it does depend what happens second half of the month. If we have a big warm up, then we may finish up not too far from average. The last thing we'll look at is 1978, as we have been talking about that year a lot in terms of teaser winters and ongoing similarities through the spring. So the May CT for 1978 was 11.7, not all that far from average, really. So it's not a particularly cold month. So maybe we're starting to deviate a little bit from 1978 with this ongoing cold weather. But then again, if we get a big warm up in the second half of the month, CT might not finish up too far from 11.7. Anyway, that's sort of facts and figures for May in terms of central temperature. I hope you found that little sort of off on a tangent interlude interesting. Let me know in the comments what you think. Right, let's move on then. So we're going to have a look at the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles for the next couple of weeks. Looking at London today, so red lines are 30-year upper air temperature average for London. Obviously, upper air temperatures are lifting up, they have lifted up, and for the rest of this weekend, we're going to be in a relatively warm upper air temperature. That's why we think the temperature will probably get to around 20 or 21 degrees in the east tomorrow, but it's not sustained all that long, and as we go into next week, you see we are cooling down. We're not going cold, we're not going back down to -5 at 850 HPA where we have been, you know, over the past few days and weeks. So we're going a little bit under average, but not all that far under average, you see what I mean? And so, with the strength of the sun at this time of year, when the sun's out, it should feel relatively pleasant, and temperature shouldn't be all that far from average. But you see, there's nothing particularly exciting going on with the temperatures over the next couple of weeks. Once we get today and tomorrow's warm-up out of the way anyway, nothing particularly exciting going on, just quite close to average, really. The upper air temperature could be a little bit above on the surface due to the strength of the sun, but certainly nothing overly dramatic. The operational run, which is the operational GFS run, which is this thick green line, that is one of the warmer ensemble members today. So keep that in mind when we look at the charts from the GFS 6Z in a moment, and keep in mind that most of the ensemble members are actually cooler than the GFS 6Z will be in its extended range. Precipitation-wise, we've got the wet weather today, of course. Then we're just sort of showery really through the rest of the period. So yeah, going to be mixed, and temperatures aren't going to be all that exciting, to be honest. Right, temperature anomalies from the 8th through to 16th of May are going to be a little bit below average for the UK and for Ireland. Precipitation anomalies from the 8th to the 16th of May are going to be wetter than average, so it remains rather unsettled, to say the least, and still a little bit on the cool side. Blaze wind flow map from urbanoldschool.net, when it refreshes, looks like that. So you see we are drawing up this southwesterly now. So we've got this deep area of low pressure, deep area of low sitting to the west of Ireland, still in those cold east-northeasterly winds from Svalbard into the north of Scotland, but we're drawing up southwesterly winds from the Azores into southern England. We haven't been able to say that very often over the past few weeks, so I'll say it again. We're drawing up southwesterly winds from the Azores into the southwest of England, and so that is the reason temperatures are pushing up. But it is all being driven by low pressure, by the low, and the low is going to get closer to us and will eventually send those southwesterlies off into the continent, and we'll see the wind coming back in from like the middle of the North Atlantic, which will be a cooler direction, but won't be going back to those cold northerly winds from Svalbard that we've been having. Right, this is how the UK Met is looking for Tuesday. So low pressure, the low pressure that's, you know, driving weather now, is still driving weather on Tuesday. And will we bring further showers, if not some longer spells of rain? Have a look at the weekend forecast for more. We go into the second half next week, and we start to take that low pressure away to the south. Heights begin to rise to the north, and so we're pulling wind in from the east at the end of next week. That will send most of the showers down to the southern half of the country. The northern half of the country will probably go mainly dry. And, I mean, easterlies in May, they can technically be quite warm, but this one looks like it's coming from a pretty chilly wind direction. So I wouldn't expect that to be overly mild, to be honest. GFS 6Z, again, we've got the low pressure dominating the weather close to the country early next week, into middle next week too. Second half of next week, we take the load or trough to the south, begin to build a ridge to the north. So that turns the north drier, showers probably affecting England and Wales. By next weekend, got high pressure up towards Iceland, having a go at pulling wind back in from the northeast again. Sunday next week, 15th of May, middle of the month, has high pressure to the north, low pressure to the south. We're bringing in probably a reasonably mild easterly, but certainly nothing exciting temperature-wise. And then this low pressure actually has another go at us as we move up towards day 10. So this is Sunday 16th. The low pressure coming back up from France, probably bringing heavy rain back into the south again. Then we begin to warm things up, so we get a push of winds from the southwest again into the exterior range just beyond day 10. This is Wednesday the 19th of May. Azores high is having a go at strengthening and pulling up more of the southwestian, so the exterior range actually turns quite dry and warm with the GFS 6 there, with high pressure over to the east of the country and pulling up those southerly southwest winds. Upper air temperatures go pretty warm as well. That's 21st of May, pretty warm with the upper air temperature, certainly enough to get us into the low 20s Celsius. And we keep things pretty warm really right to the very end, although we perhaps suggest a bit of a fungy trough here by the very end, which is the 24th of May. Now, keep in mind the GFS 6Z is one of the warmest options within its ensemble, so it isn't greatly supported in that scenario by its ensembles, but nevertheless, we may see something warmer coming along in the second half of May. The hints have been there in some of the model output, especially the CFS long-range model over the past few weeks, so we might get a warm-up in the last week to 10 days of May in particular. GM looks like that, so again, low pressure can be very unsettled through the early to middle part of next week. The low pressure goes to the south, we're pulling cooler winds from the north again by the end of next week into the next weekend. We have a go at building in a little bit of a ridge, but actually this low pressure develops in the Atlantic and brings us a proper old spell of wet and windy weather as we run up towards day 10. That's Monday the 17th of May. We're back under like a dartboard with lots of wind and rain. Again, that low pressure moves into the North Sea by day 10. Obviously, this is very different to what the GFS 6Z was showing. We move that low pressure into the North Sea by day 10 and pull the wind back into the north again. Back down comes that minus 5 Celsius ice firm that we just can't quite manage to get rid of at the moment. And then the ECM looks like that again. Showers along with spells of rain through the early to middle part of next week. Again, a trough of low pressure. The trough then sinks southwards. More low pressure starts heading in from off the Atlantic, so kind of similar to what the GM is showing actually for next weekend, probably turning a bit wet and windy, and all the way up to day 10 looking unsettled with the ECM. Not as cold as what the GM is showing, but not as warm what the GFS is showing. This is kind of in between those two extremes, and it is probably the most likely outcome, which is just to keep things rather cool and rather mixed as well. This is the precipitation type forecast based on that ECM run from weathershow.com. It's going to be very wet through northern England and Wales today. There is a weather warning in force for Wales actually today, so it's going to be persistent rain there. Into tomorrow, we may generate some thunderstorms in the southeast. This is something that's crept up on us a little bit over the past few days, so it's going to be quite warm in the east tomorrow. And tomorrow evening across East Anglia and the far southeast of England, we might just push up some heavy thundery showers, maybe thunderstorms from the south. You see that it really is restricted to this extreme eastern, southeastern part of the country, but it might be a bit of a noisy evening and night in the far southeast corner. First sort of proper thundery outbreak potentially of the summer there on Sunday evening and overnight Sunday into Monday. Monday itself will take any sort of rain away from the southeast, but we'll have more showers in the north and the west, and then the rest of next week just looks rather showery, to be honest, particularly so for more northern and western areas. Lots of heavy showers, some of them could be thundery too, and there may be more persistent rain coming in from the Atlantic as we get through towards day 10. These are actually on the table within the ECM ensembles today for day 10 from the Icelandic Met Office will get us to the 18th of May. Have 12 members of the ECM ensembles with low pressure over top of the country. That's going to be very unsettled, of course. 10 with low pressure way to our northwest, high pressure to our south. Winds will be coming up from a southwest direction. Will be a little bit drier and warmer with that one. Another 10 with deep low pressure over top of the country. That's going to be very unsettled and quite cool too. 7 building in high pressure over the country. So obviously that's going to be a lot drier and warmer if it was to come off. Another 7 with low pressure more or less over the country. And then 5 with northern blocking to the north and low pressure to the south. That'll be bringing in easterly wind, but should be drier at least for the north. Generally, most of those options still look quite unsettled, though, at day 10. In 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. This will get us to the 23rd of May. Have 18 members of the ECM ensembles still with low pressure, more or less, over top of the country, albeit weakening a little bit. 12 with high pressure building to the southwest, drawing in like a west-southwesterly. That's probably in line with what the GFS 6 said is doing, so that should be turning a bit drier and warmer. 11 with high pressure more or less over and slightly to the east of the country. Should be drawing up wind from the south. And then 10 with high pressure, again, more or less over the country. So the hints are still there. Day by day we keep saying this, but I'm not sure they're getting any closer. But the hints are still there as something drier and maybe quite significantly warmer as we get into the second half of May. But again, we've been talking about this a lot over the past few days, last week or so, and I'm not sure these warmer dry conditions getting any closer, really. But we'll see how it all plays out. Finally, the CFSV2, these are 500 millibar heights broken down to week pins. The first week pin takes us from the 8th through to the 14th of May. The coming week, of course, is unsettled with low pressure, bringing showers or longer spells of rain. Week 2 is going to be the 15th to 21st of May, with some higher pressure to our north generally, lower pressure down towards Spain, income easterly winds. So, particularly for the north, that's drying out and should be warming up a little bit. Week 3 looks quite good if you want warmer, drier weather. This is 22nd to 28th of May. High pressure over Scandinavia will bring in at least an easterly, possibly even a southeasterly wind. So that should be mainly dry and potentially a lot warmer. And then go through to week 4, which is 29th of May to 4th of June. And the high pressure just begins to recede away to our northeast a little bit. Looks like I've got some slightly lower pressure developing out to our west. And so that might be starting to turn things a little bit more unsettled. But should still be relatively pleasantly warm. So we still have the ongoing hints that the second half of May will produce drier and warmer weather. Is it getting any closer though? Let me know what you think in the comments. Day by day as we're doing these videos, are these warmer, drier hints for the second half of May actually getting closer? Or are they just remaining, you know, between sort of days 10 and 14? Let me know in the comments what you think. Right, so if you enjoyed the video, then please can you smash the like button. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. You'll be able to see future weather content if you do that. Tell your friends and family to subscribe as well. And drop a comment, let us know what you think. As I said at the start of the video, we have got fewer than 40 subscribers to put on now. I've got around 38, I think it was, wasn't it? Subscribers to put on now to get to 11k. So, quite exciting times. We'll see how long it's going to take us to get to 11k subscribers. But, yeah, it'd be nice if we could do it before the end of the month anyway, wouldn't it? So, we'll see about that. Right, that's it for your videos for today. So, tomorrow we'll start off with a 7 AM upload, of course. We're going to have our latest summer update tomorrow. It's going to be quite an important update, this. We're looking at the quasi-biennial oscillation. We'll also have the sunny roundup, of course, and be live streaming from 6 o'clock. Live stream, of course, is a sunny live stream, so we will do some short range, but we'll also do some long range, almost certainly from the CFS. And also, we'll have Patel Peng's latest analogs update for you in the live stream tomorrow. That will cover summer, autumn, and winter 2021-2022. So, yeah, a little bit of winter stuff in the live stream tomorrow from Patel Peng. So that should be quite an interesting watch. I'll see you live, Ben, but of course there's going to be uploads before that. For today's video, so that's all for now, and thanks for watching.